All right, gather round, folks, because today's story isn't your typical fairy tale. Forget the white dresses and happily ever afters for a second. We're diving deep into a world where silence speaks louder than words, and a prenup isn't just a document, it's a declaration of war. If you've ever felt underestimated, overlooked, or downright disrespected, then this one's for you. Prepare yourselves, because this isn't just a tale of wealth. It's a masterclass in strategic calm and perfectly executed comeuppance. A slight pause for emphasis. So picture this. 3 days. Just 72 hours before what was supposed to be the most magical day of my life. My wedding day. I'm buzzing with excitement. Butterflies doing acrobatics in my stomach. Dreaming of my future with Michael. We'd been together for years, built a life, shared dreams. Or so I thought. The venue was booked, the flowers ordered, the guest list finalized. Everything was perfect. Or so I believed. Then, the bomb dropped. Not a subtle little hint, not a gentle conversation, but a full-blown ambush. Michael's parents, the future in-laws, invited me over for what they called a pre-celebration dinner. I arrived, dressed nicely, genuinely thrilled to spend time with them. I even brought a bottle of their favorite wine. I walked into their impeccably decorated living room, ready for warmth and laughter. Instead, I was met with an atmosphere colder than an Arctic winter. Michael was there, sitting awkwardly on the sofa, looking at his shoes. His mother, Eleanor, was perched stiffly, her lips pursed in a way I knew spelled trouble. And his father, Richard, stood by the mantelpiece, looking far too serious for a celebratory evening. My cheerful greeting died in my throat. I knew instinctively something was terribly wrong. Eleanor, without so much as a hello, gestured to the coffee table. On it lay a thick, official-looking document. My heart sank. "We think it's important, dear," she began, her voice dripping with condescension, "to protect Michael's future, for the family." She pushed the document towards me. A prenup. A prenup. 3 days before the wedding. My fiancé, Michael, didn't utter a single word. He just sat there, avoiding my gaze. I looked from the document to Eleanor's triumphant, almost sneering face, then to Michael's bowed head. My stomach twisted. It wasn't just a prenup. It was a loud, clear message. "You are not good enough. You are a gold digger. We don't trust you." The terms of the prenup? They were beyond insulting. It basically stated that in the event of a divorce, I would walk away with nothing but the clothes on my back. No spousal support, no claim to any assets acquired during the marriage, nothing. It painted me as someone who was only interested in their family's money, someone disposable. Eleanor even managed to get in a snide remark about my modest upbringing. Oh, the irony. They clearly thought I was a pushover, an easy target. They believed I was desperate to marry into their prestigious family. What they didn't know, couldn't even fathom, was that I was sitting on a little something called $79 million. Yes, you heard that right. $79 million. An inheritance from a long-lost relative, meticulously managed and invested. It was my secret, something I hadn't shared, not even with Michael, because I wanted to be loved for me, not my bank account. But in that moment, seeing their smug faces, feeling Michael's betrayal, that secret became my shield, and my weapon. Eleanor even had the gall to add, "Sign it, dear, or there will be no wedding. We just want to make sure you're truly marrying Michael for love, not for our family's fortune." Her smirk was practically cemented on her face. A dramatic, slightly conspiratorial tone. Oh, Eleanor, you had no idea what storm you had just unleashed. My mind, usually a whirlwind of emotions, went completely calm. Crystal clear. A plan began to form, a masterpiece of quiet, calculated brilliance. I looked at Michael, still silent, still avoiding my eyes. That silence. That's what sealed their fate. It wasn't just his parents. It was him too. His complicity was a wound deeper than any insulting document. I picked up the prenup, carefully, deliberately. I didn't explode, didn't cry, didn't scream. I simply smiled. A polite, almost serene smile. "I understand," I said, my voice steady, even a little soft. "I'll need my lawyer to review this, of course. Standard procedure." Eleanor scoffed. "A lawyer? What for? It's perfectly straightforward." "Nevertheless," I replied, maintaining my calm demeanor. "It's a significant document. My lawyer will want to ensure everything is in order." Michael's father, Richard, looked a bit surprised by my composure, but Eleanor just waved her hand dismissively, clearly thinking I was just delaying the inevitable. She probably thought I didn't even have a real lawyer, just some small-town attorney, a mischievous, confident tone. Oh, but I did. My lawyer wasn't just some small-town attorney. My lawyer was Ms. Evelyn Reed, one of the sharpest, most formidable family law attorneys in the country. A woman known for her strategic brilliance and her unwavering protection of her clients' interests. I had put her on retainer years ago, ever since that unexpected inheritance landed in my lap. She was the only one who knew the full extent of my financial situation, and she was about to become their worst nightmare. I left their house that evening, not with tears, but with a cold resolve that hummed beneath my skin. The next morning, I was in Evelyn's office, the prenup spread across her mahogany desk. She read through it, her expression unreadable, occasionally raising an eyebrow. When she finished, she looked up at me, a glimmer of understanding in her eyes. "So, they want to protect their assets from you, assuming you have none. Interesting." I explained everything. Michael's silence, Eleanor's condescension, my own hidden wealth. I told her I didn't want a penny of their family's money. I wanted justice. I wanted to teach them a lesson about assumptions, about respect, and about the true meaning of partnership. I wanted them to realize that trying to manipulate someone, especially someone you claim to love, always backfires. Evelyn smiled. Not a gentle smile, but a shrewd, knowing grin. "We can certainly arrange that," she said, her voice like silk over steel. "We'll draft a counter prenup, one that will blow their minds." A tone of anticipation and controlled excitement. And thus, the plan was set into motion. The counter prenup was a work of art. It was everything their prenup was, but in reverse, and then some. It outlined my vast assets, my various investments, my trust funds. It detailed how their family fortune, which was significant but frankly dwarfed by mine, would be protected from Meow. It even included a clause about premarital counseling, paid for by the party who proposed the prenup in the first place, specifically to discuss trust and communication issues that arose from the request. It was meticulously worded, legally sound, and utterly devastating. I instructed Evelyn to deliver it to them personally, not through me, not through Michael, but through her. An official, legal delivery. I wanted them to hear it from a professional, a clear statement that I was not to be trifled with. The day Evelyn delivered the counter prenup to Michael's family was, I imagine, quite a scene. I wasn't there, of course, but I got the full report. Eleanor, expecting a meek acceptance of their terms, was reportedly speechless. Richard, the stoic patriarch, nearly dropped his tea. And Michael finally broke his silence, but not in the way they expected. When Evelyn laid out my financial standing, the jaw-dropping numbers, the extensive portfolio, their faces reportedly went from smug satisfaction to utter disbelief, then to dawning horror. Eleanor, who had so casually dismissed my modest upbringing, suddenly realized she had belittled someone exponentially wealthier than her entire family. The tables hadn't just turned. They had flipped over and landed squarely on their heads. The counseling clause particularly seemed to hit Michael hard. It highlighted his silence, his complicity, his failure to stand up for me. It exposed the crack in our foundation that his parents had so carelessly created. a reflective, triumphant tone. The phone call started almost immediately after Evelyn left. First, Richard, stammering apologies, trying to clarify their intentions. Then, Eleanor, attempting a forced sweetness, talking about misunderstandings and how much they loved me. And finally, Michael. His voice was choked with regret, shame, and dare I say a hint of desperation. He tried to explain, to apologize, to beg me to ignore his parents. But it was too late. The silence had already spoken. His silence, when it mattered most, had been deafening. It wasn't about the money anymore. It was about trust, respect, and fundamental values. A marriage built on such a foundation of doubt and disrespect was doomed before it even began. The wedding, as you might have guessed, was called off. I informed our guests, stating simply that irreconcilable differences had come to light. There were gasps, whispers, and questions, but I held my head high. I didn't air their dirty laundry, though I was certainly tempted. That wouldn't have been my style. My revenge wasn't loud or messy. It was quiet, precise, and utterly devastating. I moved on. I rebuilt. I learned invaluable lessons about vetting character, about the true nature of love, and about protecting my own peace. That experience, as painful as it was, became a powerful catalyst for personal growth. I realized that true wealth isn't just about the numbers in your bank account. It's about self-worth, integrity, and surrounding yourself with people who genuinely uplift you. So, for anyone out there who's been underestimated, who's faced unwarranted suspicion or disrespect, remember this. Your quiet strength, your inner resilience, and your meticulously crafted plan can be your greatest assets. Sometimes, the sharpest weapon isn't a loud argument, but the calm, calculated reveal of your true power. Thank you so much for tuning into this story of quiet triumph. If you found this tale inspiring, or if it just gave you something to think about, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more stories, and leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, stay strong, stay smart, and always know your worth.